Want to catch a liar in just 3 questions. Most people miss these signs, but Ernest Rutherford's secret method exposes the truth instantly. Watch closely, one slip is all it takes. Truth has a peculiar way of revealing itself when probed with precision. Ernest Rutherford, one of the greatest minds in science, once emphasized that observation, careful analysis, and questioning are far more powerful than assumptions. When trying to discern honesty, one does not need a long interrogation or a barrage of inquiries. Often, 3 carefully chosen questions can expose the cracks in a fabricated story. The first question must be simple yet revealing, designed to establish the facts from the perspective of the speaker. The second question, slightly nuanced, tests consistency and reaction. The third, deceptively casual, observes subtle cues and contradictions. It is not the words alone that betray a liar, but the hesitation, the micro-expressions, the shift in tone, and the small details that don't align with reality. Human beings, in their complexity, are not made to lie convincingly over extended scrutiny. Even the most cunning manipulator falters when confronted with questions that probe memory, timeline, and emotional truth simultaneously. Rutherford, though a physicist, understood that observation is at the heart of all discovery, whether in the lab or in human behavior. He knew that precision is key, that one must look beyond surface appearances, beyond rehearsed answers, and into the subtleties of human reaction. Asking just 3 questions works because it prevents overcomplication. People who lie often prepare for long interrogations, but when faced with 3 sharp, well-timed inquiries, they reveal themselves without realizing it. Timing matters. The pause between questions, the manner in which they are delivered, and the apparent casualness of the inquiry all serve to unsettle a liar, forcing cracks to appear. It is not about confrontation but about creating conditions where truth becomes the path of least resistance. Rutherford's wisdom reminds us that knowledge is meaningless without careful application. In the context of uncovering dishonesty, this means observing not just what is said but how it is said, and what is unsaid. Every pause, every repeated word, every unnecessary justification can indicate an attempt to mislead. The first question should establish context, asking about facts that can be verified independently. This question is neutral in tone but precise in content, allowing for comparison between the response and reality. The second question examines consistency. It should subtly shift the perspective or time frame, forcing the speaker to reconcile multiple versions of the same story. This is where the cracks often appear. The third question is observational, often indirect, designed to notice reactions rather than extract information. A liar may answer coherently, but their body language, eye movement, or tone may betray discomfort. This 3-question method is not about accusation but about understanding, discerning truth from fiction in a way that is minimally confrontational yet highly revealing. It works because humans, even when trained in deception, struggle to maintain a web of lies under careful, focused scrutiny. Beyond detecting lies, these principles have broader applications. Rutherford's approach to questioning mirrors his approach to scientific discovery: observe meticulously, question intelligently, and interpret wisely. Each answer provides data points. Each reaction offers insight. Truth emerges not as a single revelation but as a pattern, a collection of small but consistent signals. When applied to daily life, this wisdom encourages patience and attentiveness. In conversations, negotiations, or even casual discussions, one learns to notice subtleties, to value clarity over assumption, and to approach interactions with analytical curiosity rather than suspicion. Lying, in essence, is a cognitive load. Fabricating details requires constant monitoring of one's own story, suppressing contradictions, and predicting the reactions of others. Each added lie increases mental strain. 3 targeted questions exploit this strain elegantly. They are few but precise, simple yet profound, mirroring the elegance of Rutherford's scientific experiments, where a few carefully chosen observations could reveal the inner workings of atoms. Human psychology is similarly intricate yet predictable. People tend to reveal truth under conditions of mild pressure and observation. Honest individuals respond consistently, comfortably, and without over-elaboration. Liars, however, often overcompensate, over-explain, or reveal inconsistencies when caught in the net of precise questioning. Trust, once established, can be maintained with careful attention to these dynamics. Relationships, professional dealings, and negotiations all benefit from such discernment, where observation and questioning replace assumption and suspicion. Rutherford's insight is timeless. Meticulous observation, paired with intelligent questioning, is the path to understanding. It is the essence of critical thinking applied to human behavior. In practice, one might begin with a neutral, verifiable question about a recent event or statement. Observe not just the answer, but the ease or difficulty with which it is delivered. Follow with a question that shifts perspective subtly, examining consistency. Conclude with a question that is indirect, allowing for the observation of micro-behaviors, pauses, and hesitations. Over time, patterns emerge. Honesty and deception are rarely absolute, shades of truth often exist. Yet even within complexity, careful observation reveals signals that are difficult to mask. Rutherford's wisdom teaches that simplicity is powerful. 3 questions are enough because quality outweighs quantity. Precision in inquiry exposes inconsistencies more effectively than endless interrogation. The human mind, like the physical world, follows patterns that, when observed carefully, provide clarity. Lies unravel under the weight of attention, logic, and subtle observation. Beyond detecting deception, this method cultivates awareness, patience, and analytical thinking. It teaches that truth is not always loud, that honesty is often understated, and that careful attention to detail yields understanding. Each human interaction is an experiment, each response a data point, each reaction a clue. Applied consistently, this method improves judgment, decision-making, and relational insight. It reminds us that the universe, human or otherwise, reveals its truths to those who watch carefully, ask wisely, and interpret thoughtfully. In the end, the 3-question principle is a reflection of Rutherford's broader philosophy. Observation matters, simplicity is effective, and truth is often revealed through careful, patient scrutiny. It is not an accusation, it is an invitation to discernment, to understanding, to seeing beyond surface appearances. Honesty is a pattern, deception is strain, and a few precise inquiries can illuminate the difference. Applied to life, work, and relationships, this approach fosters clarity, trust, and insight. By focusing on subtlety rather than force, by valuing observation over assumption, one becomes attuned to the truths that surround them. Lies, when carefully observed, become evident. Truth, when patiently sought, becomes clear. The elegance of Rutherford's insight lies in its universality. Whether in science, human behavior, or personal reflection, the principle holds: observe meticulously, question intelligently, and interpret wisely. The 3 questions are not a tool of judgment, but of understanding. They create space for truth to emerge naturally. They demonstrate that complexity can be unraveled through careful attention and precise inquiry. In essence, the path to discernment is not about confrontation but about intelligent observation. It is about creating conditions where honesty is easier to express than deception, where consistency can be observed, and where subtle truths reveal themselves. Applied consistently, this approach changes the way one perceives human behavior, shifting from assumption to observation, from judgment to analysis, from confusion to clarity. Ernest Rutherford's legacy extends beyond atoms and science. It offers a framework for understanding people, communication, and truth. By asking just 3 questions, observing carefully, and interpreting thoughtfully, one gains insight into character, intention, and reality. Life, like science, rewards those who notice patterns, analyze subtly, and respect precision. Lies, no matter how cleverly crafted, struggle under the weight of focused, patient observation. Truth, patient and consistent, endures. The method is simple, yet profound. It reminds us that wisdom often resides not in complexity but in clarity, not in quantity but in precision, not in assumption but in observation. 3 questions, carefully chosen, reveal more than an hour of interrogation. Observation, patience, and thoughtful analysis become tools of discernment, helping navigate human behavior with insight and understanding. Through this lens, communication becomes a study, relationships become experiments, and honesty becomes a natural outcome of awareness. Rutherford's insight teaches us that, in all things, careful observation, precise questioning, and intelligent interpretation unlock understanding, whether in the mysteries of matter or the intricacies of human nature.